Welcome back for another edition of the President's Message. We're getting down to the end. This is really normally the last weekend before the championship games, which would mean the regular season will be over, but you know that some teams are going to be doing makeup games next weekend as the championship games go in. In our conferences, the championship games are settled. Obviously, Florida and Alabama and Atlanta, and you've got Notre Dame and Clemson and Charlotte. Should be two great games, but this is the way it should be. This is the championship game, then they go to the Final Four, and then they go to the Final Two. So you really have a great college football playoff system. I want to show you a couple of things. This is the new logo for College Bowl Week. It's really interesting because we've been known as the FBA Football Bowl Association for some time, and this new program, I guess we're going to brand all the college bowl games, and we're going to call it College Bowl season, kind of like the Final Four. So we're really excited about that. This is a better shot of the logo, and as you can well imagine, this is a celebration of college football. That's what the bowl games really mean. So let's get right down to it. Let's go over here, and we'll look at the SEC. And obviously, right now, as it stands, Florida and Georgia are the top two in the East. Alabama, Texas A&M, the top two in the West. You noticed before that the final six on the CFP show the other night, both of these teams, four of these teams were ranked in the top 10. Really exciting to have four teams of the SEC to get into the New Year's Day 6. And then it's our turn. So the Citrus Bowl would go next. Right now, Missouri's playing Georgia this weekend, a big game. Texas A&M got postponed. That was a big game for Texas A&M. And then Auburn. So when it shakes out, if everything goes the way it should go, and Georgia beats Missouri, the best team on the board after the CFP picks will be Auburn. If Missouri obviously loses to Georgia and then wins next week, they'll be tied with Auburn at 6-4 if Auburn beats Mississippi State. I know this is a little confusing, but let's just say the first two selections after the CFP would be Auburn and Missouri. The thought process is that the highest ranked team would go to the Citrus Bowl. The next team would more than likely go to the Outback Bowl, and then the next team would come to us. So you would take Auburn and Missouri off the board, which then would leave Ole Miss, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State. Remember, there is no minimum to be bowl eligible. And then you would also have Kentucky, and then Tennessee, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Where we would be looking at, and it appears that this would be close to where we would end up, we would be looking at Missouri, Kentucky, and Auburn and Ole Miss. One of those four teams would be the team that would participate in this year's TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. The ACC side is significantly easier. Clemson, Notre Dame, both of them are getting into the CFP. That's a done deal regardless of what happens in their championship game. You have Miami sitting here at 8-1, and they're ranked in the top 10, so they more than likely get it. But this is the big game in the ACC this weekend for us. North Carolina, Miami. If Miami wins, they move up and stay in the New Year's Day 6. If North Carolina wins, then they may move ahead of Miami in the rankings, and there's a potential then that Miami's in our mix. But right now, if you would accept whoever's a ranked team, we're more than likely looking at North Carolina and North Carolina State, who's finished their season at 8-3. So one of these two teams, NC State, will be a participant in the New Year's Day 6 and the Gator Bowl. So we're really excited about our chances there. Remember to watch the CFP, because the CFP literally sets up the top 12 teams are going to qualify for the New Year's Day 6, along with the highest ranked team, which right now is Cincinnati from the pool of 5 conferences. So that's where we are. We're going to know a heck of a lot more after this weekend. In fact, next week, I probably can get this thing down to where you almost know who's going to play in your bowl game. Appreciate it. Stay safe. Talk to you next week.
Hey there, TaxSlayer Gator Bowl fans. I'm Gary Woodhurst, the Marketing Technology Manager, and I have 2 picks for you today. First, in Big 12 action, Oklahoma Sooners taking on the West Virginia Mountaineers. West Virginia's had an up and down season, and Oklahoma, despite a rocky start, is loaded with talent and has been on an absolute roll. Look for that to continue this week as they set up themselves for a matchup with Iowa State in the Big 12 Championship next week to keep their playoff hopes alive. Moving on to the ACC, we've got a top 25 matchup between Miami Hurricanes and North Carolina Tar Heels. It's basketball season in North Carolina. Look for Miami to complete their sweep of Tobacco Road, coming off a 48-0 drubbing against Duke. They complete the sweep this week. That's all from here, folks. Have a great football weekend.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Nestler. I'm the Marketing Automation Manager here at TaxSlayer. I've been tasked this week to pick the winner of the LSU-Florida game. Being a Georgia Bulldog alumni, it pains me a little bit to make this pick, but I'm going to go with Florida Gators in a cakewalk over LSU. Florida 42, LSU 17.
Hi everybody, my name is Missy Paulhemos and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at TaxSlayer, and I'm excited to be here with you to share my picks for this upcoming college football weekend. First, we have Auburn at Mississippi State, and I'm picking the Bulldogs to beat Auburn this weekend at home. And next we have in-state rivals, Virginia versus Virginia Tech, and I'm picking the Cavaliers to beat Virginia Tech this weekend. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. Thanks.
Hey, I'm Thomas Strauss. I'm the Director of Business Intelligence and Data Analytics here at TaxSlayer. Today I'll be picking Rutgers in Maryland and Wake Forest at Louisville. First I'll pick Rutgers in Maryland. Both teams are coming in off a loss. Where Rutgers last week handed Penn State their first win of the season, while Maryland lost to one of last year's TaxSlayer Bowl participants, the Indiana Hoosiers. Looking at the two teams, it seems like they're both going to have a good game, but it looks like Vegas is picking Maryland to win by 7.5. And from looking at all those numbers, I think I'm going to have to agree with Vegas, and I see the Terrapins coming out top on this one. Next game is Wake Forest Demon Deacons against the Louisville Cardinals. As with the other two games, both these teams are coming off of a loss, and Wake Forest lost a high-scoring game to North Carolina, and Louisville lost to Boston College. The odds makers again are seeing this one as a close game, but Louisville is favored by 1.5. Unfortunately, Louisville comes in with their coach Scott Satterfield, who was previously coach of App State. I'm a proud Georgia Southern Eagle, and I couldn't see myself picking a Mountaineer here, so I'm going with the Demon Deacons. Speaking of App State and Georgia Southern, the Mountaineers are making their annual trek down to the prettiest little state in America in Statesboro, Georgia. As a bonus pick, I'm going to be taking the Eagles with that one. Hopefully we'll send those Mountaineers back to Boone, the loser, 3 years in a row.
Hi, I'm Dana Zefting, Director of Brand and Advertising for TaxSlayer. I'm here with my 9-year-old daughter, Zoe, and we're going to pick 2 games for you. First game is going to be Duke at Florida State. With Florida State playing at home, they've got a chance, and they've never lost to Duke. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think Duke's got a chance of pulling it off this year, and they're going to come out with a victory. Next up is Wisconsin versus Iowa. What do you think, Zoe?
I think Wisconsin's gonna win because my best friend loves that team, and I really think it's gonna win.
It's a good choice. So we're pulling for the Badgers?
Mm-hmm.
We think the Badgers will pull it off. Those are our picks. Thanks.